Hey guys, Flo from Afterlands here. I'm a French-Australian filmmaker based in French Labs, and today we're going to talk about the iPad Air and why it is a great tool for filmmakers and for everyday use as well. This is not a review, but more about why I decided to buy it aside from my main camera gear and how I use it for our projects. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this one, and let's get into it. So what is the iPad Air and why getting one? I think at this point everyone knows what a tablet is, how it works, and what it does. Ems has been illustrating on our iPad Pro for a couple of years now and loves it. For what I needed to do with it, the Pro wasn't necessary, but the new Air had more than enough for me. That includes strong graphics, a beautiful 10.9-inch screen, amazing battery life, and since it is Apple, it fits nicely into my Mac ecosystem. We always talk about cameras and lenses, but there's so many other things when it comes to filmmaking gear, and some that might seem unlikely at first but turn out to be very useful. For me, the iPad is one. So here are a few ways we use our iPads. 1. Pre-production. One of the main reasons for me to get an iPad in the first place was to facilitate a few aspects of our pre-production process when approaching a new project. Storyboarding. Storyboards are an essential part of pre-production and a huge asset when it comes to composition and story building. I'm lucky that Ems, being an illustrator, can actually create the frames that I have in mind pretty quickly. We can then take the iPad on shoot and use it as reference. Mood boards. Creating a mood board helps in shaping the atmosphere and feel over the film you're about to make. I find scrolling on the iPad and saving images aside a lot easier and to be a better experience than using a computer or a phone. Pinterest is a great place to start, for example. Gear list and shot list. We write down our shot list and gear list as notes before a shoot. This allows me, or us, depending on the shoot, to have a visual reminder of what needs to be taken for the specific project. To showcase work. Sometimes during a meeting with clients, showing a proposal or reel using an iPad can be a great idea since it usually looks a lot better than watching a video on YouTube. We usually have a few of our finished projects as files on the iPad. Obviously with COVID, these meetings have been a lot more rare, but still. This is also how we show our friends and family our recent work. Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. Now more than ever, we spend a lot of time on video calls with clients. Having a screen that is bigger than a phone is quite handy and a lot more comfortable, especially when we both have to sit in front of the camera for an hour or two. 2. During production. Another great way to use our iPad is during the actual shoot. Apart from checking and ticking off the shot list, we write down any notes we feel like adding along the way, such as the specifics of one location. It is easy then for Ems or anyone else to keep track of the shoot. We can refer to the storyboard, make visual notes, and since the screen is larger than a phone, it is much easier for a few people to have a look at the same time too. We also use it to write the questions that will drive the interview during a documentary shoot. 3. Inspiration. I also use the iPad for inspiration. I recently bought the ASC Mag yearly subscription and regularly flick through it to learn about new gear, a cinematographer's techniques, or just to read articles about filmmaking in general. Reading it on the iPad is a lot easier on the eyes and cheaper to access all of that content. Of course, this also applies to reading any kind of online content. 4. To replace a computer when possible. As you know, we travel a lot, whether it is for work or personal, and the reason to take the iPad is that I don't necessarily want to carry my main computer when I don't need to. First because of the implication if something was to happen to it, but also purely because of weight and value. The iPad is so small and light, it can actually do most of what a computer can do, and that even includes retouching photos, transferring data, since the new iPad Air and the Pro are quite powerful machines. 5. Teleprompter. Since I started uploading on YouTube more and more over the past couple of years, I found myself having to talk to camera a lot, and having that bit of text in front of you can be a great help when you need to give a lot of information in the clearest and quickest way possible. Not sure if you know, but the app Pages has a built-in teleprompter mode, which is super handy. 6. Sidecar. You might find it surprising, but I'm actually editing all my work on a single 24-inch screen. I never feel the need to have more, and I like having everything in front of me. Habits, I guess. However, if for some reasons I need to extend that screen real estate, I can actually use the iPad as an external monitor just by having it plugged in into my MacBook using something called Sidecar, a neat and useful feature that can come in handy in many situations. For instance, when traveling. When I was in quarantine after my trip to Antarctica, I had to edit all day long for 14 days using only a 15-inch MacBook Pro. An extra 11-inch would have been greatly appreciated and could have been used as a viewing monitor, for example, within Final Cut Pro. 7. Relaxing. I always need to buy new gear for work, and sometimes it feels good to get something that can also help you relax. At night, I usually sit down and watch a few videos on my iPad. They can be about filmmaking or completely unrelated. I also play games and listen to music. To me, it is extremely important to unwind and zone out, and to be able to have the equivalent of a computer and console in such a tiny package is just great. By the way, this stand by 12 South is amazing. The link will be in the description. 8. It's tech and it's cool. And finally, I love gear and I love tech, always have. To me, the iPad is my favorite Apple product by far, and probably my favorite tech product period. It sure isn't cheap, but the value that it can bring for both work and personal applications, as well as the longevity of it when compared to a phone for example, make it worth it. And of course, you have dedicated filmmaking apps such as LumaFusion, Filmic Pro, or even iMovie to help you create and edit content. I personally don't use any, since I usually edit at home, but it is great to have the option. That's it for me today guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video and let me know in the comments if you use tablets either for work or for fun. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.